The rain was falling hard that evening, turning the cracked sidewalks into mirrors of gray and gold beneath the trembling streetlights. A little girl stood outside a dusty pawn shop, her small fingers clinging to the handle of a guitar case almost as tall as her. Her shoes were soaked, her jacket too thin for the November chill, but her eyes, large, brown, and heavy with something far older than her years, stayed fixed on the glowing, open sign. She took a deep breath, stepped inside, and laid the guitar on the counter. "Please," she whispered to the man behind it, "I just need $100. It belonged to my dad." And that was the moment the world, without knowing it, was about to witness a miracle born of grief, music, and the kind of kindness that restores faith in humanity. Backhand index pointing right if you believe kindness, compassion, and second chances can still change the world. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us spread more real, heartwarming stories like this one. Her name was Lily Thompson. She was 9 years old, but life had already asked her to carry more than most adults ever could. Her father, Aaron Thompson, was once a local musician in Los Angeles. Not famous, not rich, but passionate. Every night he'd play his worn-out guitar for Lily, singing her to sleep with soft rock ballads and the same line at the end of every song. "One day, sweetheart, the world will know your daddy's music." But the world never did. 2 years before, a drunk driver had run a red light and ended his life on a quiet Sunday evening. Since then, Lily and her mother, Sarah, had been fighting to survive, barely making rent, skipping meals, and trying to hide tears behind forced smiles. Sarah worked double shifts at a diner, her once sparkling eyes now dulled by exhaustion. The guitar, her father's Gibson Les Paul, was the last thing they had of him. It sat in their tiny apartment's corner, gathering dust because neither of them could bear to touch it. Until one day, Sarah fell sick. Her body gave in to the years of stress, fatigue, and skipped meals. When Lily found her mother fainted in the kitchen, the ambulance came, but the doctors said she needed treatment they couldn't afford. The number they gave Lily sounded impossibly large. That night while her mother slept, Lily stared at the guitar in the corner. The gold strings glimmered faintly under the dim light, and in her young heart a decision took shape. Her dad would have wanted her to save her mom, and maybe, just maybe, selling his guitar could do that. So the next morning she wiped the dust from the old case, put on her raincoat, and walked 6 blocks to the pawn shop. But fate had something else planned. The shopkeeper, a gruff man named Tony, lifted the lid, squinting at the guitar. His tone softened slightly when he saw how carefully she'd handled it. "Where'd you get this, kid?" "It was my dad's," she said. "He's gone now. I need $100 for my mom, please, sir." Tony ran his hand along the neck of the guitar. "This isn't worth 100, kid. It's worth a lot more. You sure you want to sell it?" Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. "Yes, my mom's sick. I can't lose her too." Tony hesitated. Something in her trembling voice cut through the usual noise of greed and business. He sighed, took a picture of the guitar, and posted it on his social media with the caption, "Little girl came in trying to sell her late father's guitar to pay for her mom's treatment. Anyone interested?" He added, half-jokingly, "Maybe Ozzy Osbourne wants a new guitar." He didn't expect what happened next. Somewhere across the city, a notification pinged on the phone of one of the most legendary rock icons alive, Ozzy Osbourne himself. He was sitting in his study, surrounded by memories of decades in music, the chaos, the fame, the fire, but his eyes had grown gentler over the years. His wife, Sharon, showed him the post. "Look at this, Ozzy," she said softly. "A little girl trying to sell her dad's guitar for $100. Ozzy looked at the picture. The guitar wasn't anything fancy, not rare or collectible, but the little girl holding it, something about her face, her story, the way her small hands clutched that instrument, hit him like a chord he hadn't heard in years. "Where's this girl?" he asked quietly. Within hours, his team reached out to the pawn shop. Tony thought it was a prank at first, But when a black SUV pulled up outside his store the next morning, he realized it was real. Ozzy himself walked in. When Lily saw him, she froze. She'd seen him once on TV with her dad, back when her father told her stories of how Ozzy's music kept him going through his hardest days. That man, her dad had said, turned pain into songs that saved people. Now he was standing right in front of her. Ozzy knelt down to her level, his voice rough yet kind. "Hey, sweetheart, this your dad's guitar." Lily nodded shyly, clutching her jacket. "He used to play it for me, but I need money for my mom. She's really sick." Ozzy's expression softened even more. "How much were you hoping to get?" "100, she said quietly. He smiled faintly and shook his head. "Tell you what, how about I buy it for 20,000? Her mouth fell open, even Tony's eyes widened. "20,000, she stammered. Ozzy nodded. "It's not just a guitar, sweetheart. It's your dad's dream, and dreams are worth more than any price tag." Lily burst into tears. She threw her arms around him, sobbing into his jacket while the shop fell silent. Even Tony, the gruff old man, wiped his eyes behind the counter. That night, Ozzy wired the money directly to the hospital for Sarah's treatment. Within days, her condition stabilized. The doctors said she'd make a full recovery. When Sarah woke up and learned what had happened, she couldn't stop crying. But Ozzy wasn't done. He asked Tony for their address, promising he had something special in mind. A week later, a package arrived at Lily's apartment. Inside was her father's guitar, cleaned, polished, restored to perfect condition, and with it, a handwritten note. "Dear Lily, I bought your dad's guitar not to keep it, but to make sure you never forget what he gave you. Music, love, and strength. Someday, play this guitar and let the world hear his song again. Love, Ozzy." There was also a smaller box inside, an invitation to visit his recording studio. When Lily and her mother arrived at the studio, they were greeted by Ozzy and Sharon themselves. The place smelled of wood, steel strings, and memories. Ozzy guided Lily to a stool and handed her the guitar. "Play something for me," he said. Her fingers trembled, but she remembered the lullaby her dad always played. Slowly, gently, she strummed the strings. The notes were soft, shaky at first, then steady, each one carrying her father's voice back to life. When she finished, the room was silent. Ozzy's eyes glistened. "That was beautiful, sweetheart," he said quietly. "How about we record that?" And they did. Together, they recorded the song her father had written for her. Ozzy even added a soft backing track, letting Lily's fragile voice and guitar take the lead. He released it online under the title Lily's Song, a tribute to her dad. Within days, it went viral. Millions listened, thousands commented, and people from around the world donated to help Lily and her mom get back on their feet. Months later, Lily and Sarah moved into a small but cozy home. Sarah got a better job, and Lily began taking guitar lessons, determined to honor her father's dream. On her 10th birthday, she performed live for the first time at a local charity concert, singing the same song her father used to play for her. Ozzy was there in the front row, smiling proudly. After her performance, he walked onto the stage, hugged her, and whispered, "You've got your dad's heart, kid. Never stop playing." The crowd stood, clapping and crying all at once. For a moment, time itself seemed to stop, the world watching a young girl and an old rock star united by loss, music, and love. Life didn't magically become perfect. There were still hard days, still bills to pay, still moments of missing the man whose laughter once filled their home. But something had changed. Hope had returned. Sometimes late at night, Lily would sit by her window, strumming her dad's guitar. The city outside hummed with noise, but she could swear she heard his voice in the melody, soft, proud, and full of love. "Keep playing, my little star," he seemed to whisper. "The world hears you now." And she smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes, knowing he was right. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Every click helps us bring you more stories of kindness and miracles that remind the world there's still good out there. Speech balloon before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Ozzy's place? Would you have bought the guitar or done something different? We'd love to hear your thoughts. That single act of kindness had started a chain reaction, a rock legend giving hope to a broken little girl, a mother finding strength again, and a world reminded that compassion is still the loudest sound of all. Because sometimes the smallest gesture, a guitar, a song, a moment of care, can echo louder than any stage and reach deeper than any fame. And for Lily Thompson, that echo became the music of her life.